So over the weekend, Godzilla X Kong released a new movie, and the critics absolutely despise this movie. The fans seem to love it, and I'm somewhere in the middle. But let's read about this from Dexerto real quick. Godzilla X Kong stomps past MonsterVerse box office record. We'll get into that record in a second. Thursday night previews for the latest MonsterVerse film proved the audiences were beyond thrilled to see it all play out. According to earnings report via Discussing Film, Godzilla X Kong's opening night raked in a record $10 million. $10 million is their new high score for the Godzilla X Kong series. Such early box office success puts Adam Wingard-directed film ahead of every other MonsterVerse project to date. We compare that to Godzilla Minus One, and oh boy, you got some work to do, guys. 2014's Godzilla garnered 9.3 million in preview earnings. In 2017, Kong Skull Island previews brought in 3.7 million, and Godzilla King of the Monsters bowed to 6.3 million. The latest MonsterVerse adventure has a long road ahead of it, with early projections estimating the Godzilla vs. Kong, or Godzilla X Kong, will open between 45 and 50 million at the box office during Easter weekend. While critics are split on the film based on its 53% Rotten Tomatoes score, viewers have higher opinions of Godzilla X Kong thus far, and they're currently sitting at 92%. But what are the critics actually saying about this? So what do we have here? A 55% from the critics and a 93% audience score. But let's do what we always do and click on the top critics and all audiences. So all audiences is actually at a 92%, which, granted, it's better than the series, and I would say the last movie, but the top critics have it sitting at a 30% audience score. There's not enough diversity in it, which is weird because every monster movie has nothing but women taming the kaiju, giant monsters, and befriending them and shaming men. But they want more. They want more DEI injections into this. But in case you're curious what they're actually saying about this, here we go. I highlighted just a couple to talk about. Godzilla X Kong is a big and loud as expected, but when the dust is settled, there's nothing to hold on to. The kaiju clash is a crushing bore. Now, I did watch the movie. It wasn't terrible. I think they put in too many monsters because I think there was like 9 of them in this one. And they're all in at different times doing one big like 30-minute fight. And it was just, I didn't find it entertaining. And you know, it's the MonsterVerse. So, of course, entire cities get leveled, which I think at this point there's like tens of millions of people that have no homes and no city. But ignoring that, we got another one. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire is a mouthful of a title, and one that's surprisingly hard to parse out on its own, especially as it suggests more of a brand collab between those famed cinematic monsters than anything else. Yeah, they do. They've got like 5 different apes, Godzilla, a new Godzilla knockoff that's ice. Mothra's come back. They've got some like wannabe Kraken thing. It's just too much crammed in. It's like halfway through it, they realized Godzilla Minus One was doing fantastic. We're like, do you think we could change this to add more monsters? Like that, they don't understand why people liked Godzilla Minus One, and they're trying to derail their entire plot, which is, I think, why critics hate it, because they're focusing less on female empowerment and more on monsters. And if we've learned anything from the critics, that's all they want is strong, independent women. But here's another one. About halfway through Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, I turned to a fellow critic and asked a desperate question. What the hell is this movie about? Well, what it should have always been. Monsters fighting. Giant monsters fighting. But how good is it actually doing? What are the numbers for Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire? Domestic box office, 80 million. So it did better than the projections. We've seen the inflated Hollywood budgets. I don't have a numbers on the actual production cost of this, but I suspect it's probably in the 200 to $300 million range, just like every other movie that Hollywood makes. So it's gonna get close. I think it might actually make its money back, but it's still not a good movie. So I think this movie will break even. It might even do a little bit better than the normal production, but I don't think it's going to be a banger like we saw with Dune Part 2 or let's say Oppenheimer or Barbie. It's just kind of going to be a break even movie for Hollywood. But I would say the movie's about average. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10. It's still got the woke talking points with women always trying to lead men into the places and tell them what to do. But it does have more monsters in it. It does have more monster fight. So I'll give it a. But guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, guys, be easy like sleazy.